So I'm out back of the dealer that I used to work at, and I bought something, and we'll talk about it right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Ross the Oliver Man, and I decided I couldn't live without this right here. This is the delivery truck that they used at the dealership for years. And what brought this on was, the other day, I asked them if they'd haul something for me. They've hauled lots of things for me over the years with this exact rig. And they said no. Said the truck has been sitting for probably about a year, and said we're gonna sell it. And I said, I don't think you are. I said, I think it's already sold. So I went and talked to the owner, which is like the, you know, it's a grandfather, son, and grandson that are running the whole show here. So I went to talk to the oldest one, made a deal on this whole rig. And you're gonna say, are you crazy? Well, very much probably. But the thing is, I love this trailer, and I have for years. I know it'll do what I want. This is a Landau trailer, and yeah, it's a hydraulic tilt bed, and then it's got a winch, and you can slide the axles forward, and it's super handy. I mean, we have been into all kinds of situations with this, going to pick things up, and it's just amazing all the different things that you can make happen. So what I gave for this was, you know, I thought very reasonable. It was cheaper than if I'd have went out and bought a new gooseneck trailer. So is it going to cost me way more than that in the long run? Probably. Is it cool? Absolutely. Does it make good YouTube? Most importantly, yes. So we should probably take a minute and drink this all in before we try to get it running, because like I said, it hasn't run in probably a year. Maybe they ran it since then, but it hasn't really moved. It never went out. The one thing I like about it is it's got almost new tires all the way around in the last few years, and that's just the way it was. When I worked here, it kind of was like we were putting tires on this trailer. So they're pretty well brand new, you know. They probably, what I'm saying is, even if they're up in years, they probably only have like a few hundred miles on them. So definitely all right there. And we'll have to check before we try to take it home, but I think all the tires are up. I mean, the worst part of this trailer is the floor on the front is getting kind of rough. We'll probably have to do something about that eventually, but like they said, never lost anything yet hauling it. So, you know, we can cut out sections maybe and go again here. So, but that's projects for later, you know. It's got this monstrous winch, which I know is very handy because we've, like I said, we've pulled all kinds of stuff with it. Dead tractors and whatever. They hauled their dozer. They have a Fiat Alice dozer, and they hauled it on here. So it'll do just about everything I want it to do, I think. The old truck here, this is actually the second truck they had like this. The first one had a 3208 cat motor, just like my four-wheel drive whites, and it was an underpowered gutless truck, you know, pulling a loaded trailer. But then they found this one, and I believe it has the 855 Big Cam Cummins. We'll take a look here in a minute and open the hood. We'll have to get this stuff out from in front of it. But yeah, it's pretty good. It needs some work. It's going to need new hydraulic hoses. I mean, I'm going to put new hydraulic hoses on it because they're getting kind of a little bit rough, but that's okay. Batteries are dead, but I got two brand new ones in the back of the truck. That's one thing that it never did, is it would not charge the battery, so we'll have to fix on that. But we'll have a look in here first, see. Just like the 880 Ford I got, you know. Headliner's coming down. We had to saw on that one trip, so it probably needs a little attention. I thought it was a 10-speed, but then the other guy said it was a 9-speed. So we have reverse, we have low, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't it? So it would be it's a 9-speed. It's got low, and then yeah. So that should be 1 back here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 6, or what did I say? 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, gonna have to do some cleaning on some of this is their stuff, like coats and whatever else. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that the batteries are dead, but it's just an old truck, you know. And like I said, what I gave for it wasn't much. And you're probably thinking, well, it's not much. It doesn't look like much, but I've seen what it can do, and I know that I'll get a lot of use out of it, in theory, around home, hauling my stuff back and forth locally. This is not an over-the-road truck. There's no way I would take this a state over and go pick up something. Those days are past it, but you know, I would put down a back highway and pick up something I want at an auction here locally, no problem. And hauling hay, you know, I thought that would be kind of handy. Let's see if we can't, I don't know how heavy this is. Oh, lightweight. Let's move this out of the way. Flip our hood forward. And let's take a look at this monstrous engine. Is the other hood latch open? No, let's get that. A 9000 Ford. Fun fact, I guess, about these big trucks. If it was 3 digits, it was a gas truck. If it was 4 digits, it was a diesel. And this is a big old ugly Cummins right there. A monstrous deal. I don't know if the data plate's on this side, if we can see it. Yeah, there we go. What do we got here? Model's NTC 350. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna need a little bit of loving. We'll give it that. We'll take care of it. Looks like that's been a reman Cummins at one time in its life, so it may not have that many hours on it, or miles, or however you want to look at it. Next thing we should probably do is to kind of check on some fluids here. This is likely not power steering right here. Of course, there's no dipstick on it. Looks kind of dry. Looks like that might need some attention from us at some point. Let's see if we can't find, like, you know, radiator juice and engine oil. There's our radiator. Huh? It has pressure on it, like it's got fluid in it. Does it have fluid in it? Kind of feels like it might. Can you see in there? I guess I'll have to climb up there somehow. And drop the cap down. Boys, I can't see in there. Oh yeah, there's juice down in there. Alright, so if I was an engine oil dipstick, where would I be? Or if I was just a dipstick in general. Does it curl around behind and it's really tied up to the top of the motor somewhere? Well, come on now. I guess I'll climb up there and get a better view on it too. Sure, you know. Sure, this truck had air conditioning at one time. Wouldn't that be cool if that worked? We could make that work with a couple hoses? Yeah, right. Well, there's the oil fill. Well, what am I missing here, fellers? I don't see the dipstick. Like, I'm not gonna start it until there it is. See, I knew that we'd figure it out. Let's not scrape all our oil off. That's pretty low, if that's to be believed. We're gonna have to very possibly we're gonna have to go up to the store and we're gonna pour some oil in to take it home, because there ain't no way I'm driving it like that. I'm not even starting it like that. Yeah, we need about 3 gallons of oil, probably. So, I don't know. It's a little bit low. But that's okay. When you leak, when you get older, you leak a little bit. That's just the way life is. Alright. Well, I think that I will be back. I'm gonna run uptown and get some oil to pour in it, and we got water in there, or antifreeze, and I would say if we put the batteries in, something ought to happen. So let me go do that and we will be back. All right, I went up to the gas station up the street, got some delicious fried chicken and some Earl here. Got the heavy duty diesel is Advantage lubricant. That should be enough to, soot control, extended drain. Anyway, that should be enough to get us home. And since we don't have any chrome, because chrome gets you home, but that should be enough that we can run it home and then immediately dump it out when we service the truck. But sure. The next question is going to be, how much do we put in, friends? Well, I don't know. The other thing is, if I get much fatter, I won't be able to do stuff like this. All right. And another thing, I don't see any birds' nests or anything, so we're doing super, you know. Wonder how much we should put in. All of it? I don't think so. We'll put in a little bit, like most of the jug, and then we'll check it. Let's just set that right there. Of course, I'm not nimble enough to reach down and check the dipstick without crawling down. Probably should wait for it to drain, you know, and we'd know what's what. Well, we're halfway up. It's probably still taking it a little while. Based on that, I'm going to say that most of that jug will go in there just fine. Which makes me wonder, what is the oil capacity of this motor? Is it like 5 gallons? Oh, back up to the top. Let's stop with that. I would say that's enough. Makes me feel like I got my money's worth if I don't use all of it, you know? So, but this should be enough now to, I'm confident enough to run it with that. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go, friends. Friend. I should probably take this funnel back before I forget about it right away. But our next affair is going to be batteries. All right. Batteries. We're going to need to do some battery box work because we're getting down to where pretty well imagination is the only thing holding that on. And usually people complain I don't use any penetrating oil, so why don't I use that on batteries, right? We needed that. That's going to make it so much better. So we got the hot cable here. We need to, probably should have took the grounds off first, but that's fine. But what I'm saying is we need to not mix these up. Will you stick to that? I don't really know what this body is made of, if it's got enough steel or fiberglass or what. All right, this one is the hot cable, the longest one. I'm gonna set it way out of the way so I don't forget. I don't think that I could, but what I'm saying is I think it only goes in pretty well one direction. There's that. And these batteries might charge up. I'm going to take them home and use them as, you know, potential tractor batteries. We'll see, because they are the interstates. Uh-oh, phone's ringing. Think that's important? I don't know. All right. That was the parts yard calling. I managed to find another air cleaner for a 1250. So that'll be here sometime. Let's get rid of it. Let me go take one away and bring the other one back. Now this battery is bound to be super good, and I know that because a mouse took a dump on it in the parts store. So it's bound to be a good one. Let's go get the other one now. Let's put this on here. That be about right? Yep. Those are pretty stout batteries. All right, now, if I wasn't stupid, I would probably do this one first. And we may decide later on, when we change the battery box, we may want to shorten this cable by a good bit. And I say that because, yeah, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is because that's awful long to be draped around and potentially rub a hole through. When we get home, we're going to take the battery cables off whenever that day comes. Probably not going to try to drive it home today. This is going to be more of a will it run, will it move, make sure that the brakes are not stuck on anything, and also make sure that the what am I trying to say? Make sure that the high-low shifter on the transmission is working correctly, because it has before in its history here. We went to use it once and it wouldn't shift, and my grain truck does the same thing, and then after I drove it down the road at -0 miles an hour, it finally made up its mind to participate, and then everything was cool. So all right. All right. Let's put this back on. Let's see what we got now. Okay, duck. We in neutral. That's contact, I guess. It's gonna go. Look at that. Oil pressure for days, huh? Oh yeah, I forgot about that too. It did that once before to us. Throttle cable sticks a little bit. So we should probably lube that up a little bit. We're not building any air pressure. There we go. I think our just took a few cycles of the pedal to get it back where it needs to be. Yeah, we're building air now. That's our air gauge. I was looking at this one. That must have been from trailers past. And then I think that the trailer brakes I don't think are independent on this truck. I think it's all here. So we'll let it sit there a minute. Does our throttle lock work? Let's put it on fast idle is what I'm trying to do. Figure out how that's made. That's just I think we're gonna do a carpet delete whenever we get to that point, because I'm thinking that that carpet's holding moisture. It's probably not doing our floor any favors. Pretty good for not having run for a good while. Let's just lube up all the linkage. Little water displacer 40. She ain't no peach, but good enough for me. Let's see if we can, it's still building air. Will the high-low thing shift? I don't know if I heard it or not. Maybe. We'll have to check that, because it won't be roadworthy till that happens. Let's put the... Alright. PTO should be on. Probably should have unloaded the bed, you know. That's the axles there. Probably should move it from its hole before. That's the winch. And this should be the dump. Probably ought to be revved up to do this, but we're just doing kind of a functionality test. Yeah, stuff's moving. So that still all works. That's good to know. We're up to like 60 psi. Let's give it a little more onions here. fast idle, or not, or drift back down. Let's see if it'll move. I don't think so yet. Oh. There we go. Reverse should be back. Let's see what happens. Yep, just as I suspected. I think we got stuck brakes. That one on that side back there is stuck. Sure. Well, let's let it fully air up, and we'll try to figure out what to do, because I'm thinking that this thing's had this problem before. There's just no good way to get in there and like hit the drum. It's not leaking, it's just not releasing. Nope. Yeah, this ain't working. All right, we're gonna have to do some service work. Will it start back up? Oh yeah, what a sweetheart. Okay, well, as much as I love to work on heavy trucks, we're gonna have to, because we can't move it with this brake stuck. So I know sometimes you can just hit the drum and get them to pop loose. Sometimes you could jar it maybe and pop it loose. But knowing my luck, we're gonna have a complete tear down and reinstall to get that to come loose. You know, why not? But everything appeared to be working. I don't know about the high-low shifter. Obviously, we couldn't really test that. Couldn't really hear it either. That fitting's leaking, isn't it? Right at that swivel. So we best We're probably going to need to change this line at some time. That would be a nice thing to do. But like I said, I'd really like to get it home, and then we could start tearing into stuff. But I knew we weren't going to take it home today, so don't freak out that we didn't get to do that. I just wanted to make sure it was ready to go, running. And I'm going to disconnect my new batteries so that they don't drain down. And we're going to have to come back and figure out what we're going to do about these brakes, which may or may not involve jacking it up, taking off all the tires and working on them. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. I'm going to ask the guy in here what he had to do last time they were like this, because I'm thinking that he phoned a friend for help on that as well. So maybe if we can figure out what trick they did, maybe we can do that thing again and it will come loose and life will be grand. So anyway, I guess we'll leave this one here. There'll be definitely more future videos on this. I'd like to kind of move this to the front of the line so we can start using it, because I got projects that we could definitely use this with. I've got I'm gonna go look at something else that we might potentially can't live without, and it's close enough that I could use this to haul it home. That's kind of what started this whole thing, was that thinking about buying that thing and not wanting to drive it down the road. So yeah, brake work, that's what we're in for. But we are going to call this one here, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.